Welcome to God with George Ortega. This is episode number 122. I'm recording it on Monday, April 12th, 2021 at 1:06 p.m. Eastern Time. How you doing, God? You have been really making my life really good recently. And it's interesting. I was just like attending a Torah class where we kind of address this theme of why things happen to us, sometimes bad, sometimes good. And yeah, I believe that, yeah, when you make me do good, then that's the surreal part of it. When you make me do good, you reward me. So apparently you're making me do a lot of good, and thank you. So, all right, so I didn't, I have no idea what I want to talk to you about. Oh yes, God, we were going through that list, if I recall, because and I'm gonna go out later and work on the script as we mentioned, the call script. But let's continue with that list, God, because I really need your help. This film needs to be made. It's going to help your world tremendously in a lot of ways. It's probably going to help my personal life in significant ways. So let's get this done. All right, hold on. So all right, the next one. All right, how I begin the phone calls is very important. I need to figure this out. And what that's about, God, and that's number 3. Yeah, the first sentence that comes out of my mouth and how it comes out is extremely important. So, all right, that's this one. I will think about this. I'm not going to think about it now because, it takes a bit of thought. It's yeah, no, because I want to present the significance of the project, the benefit to the financer personally, the benefit to the world. But again, I'm going to have to think about that. How to frame that. Okay, number 4. I need to keep track of calls that require follow-up. All right, so I want to get really organized with this. Like one of the thoughts, God, that came up that I thought I should do is to not ask for, not to try to not seal the deal immediately, to say to the people, I've introduced to you concepts that you're probably not very familiar with, probably haven't thought about that much, let alone spoken about it. And so to give them, an opportunity to think about it. And, and then just actually, yes, have this experience, because I've done a lot of promotion projects, very, very little follow-up. So God, what I need to do, and this is it's no, the logistics, just like what I want you to do, God, I want you to make me create, a Word document, a table with, who I contact, what the response is, the date, and then, I guess the date I follow up, and the results of that. So, that's, I'm not ready to do that yet because I want to finish the script first, but I definitely, well, no, that I'm not going to need your help on. Well, obviously. All right, what else? Let's see. Expect occasional disrespectful or patronizing reactions for prospects. Yes, people sometimes who are in the positions where they have a lot of money or access to a lot of money, it gets to their head, and and also I think in business there's a jockeying for position, posturing, all that stuff. So yes, I'm going to get people who are going to perhaps attempt that, let's say, and I've got to, and the other part of that is, God, that I think that, to tell some people to, to have this thing, this message, this kind of prospect that I'm presenting, be about free will, and so many people really needing, I guess, feeling the need to believe in this. So I'm thinking, God, that yeah, that's to be expected, but I it's important that I learn to to first not be affected, not be, you know, set on my heels by things like that, but also, yeah, to, I guess, to talk in a way where that potential from other people would be minimized. And again, that's something I'm going to have to think about. But again, I've begun to think about it, you know, talking with you. So I appreciate that. All right. And yes, I think God, you know, like the more competent I get in both creating the call script and delivering it, the more I can minimize, you know, because basically I can command that kind of respect, you know, if I do this the right way. All right. Number 6, I need to express great confidence, which is like, you know, the answer to number 5. So yes, and like, you know, what I was just reading in a book on confidence is something that I didn't, you know, really you know, realize a long time ago, is that like a lot of times confidence comes with competence. You know, in this book, the whole theme of the book was about that, and I didn't. I'm listening to it. I didn't listen to the entire book because I got the message, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like I think God, like for example, what's just as an aside, you know, you're making me become really good at bass, and you know, it's not, you know, I'm not ready to go pro or whatever for perhaps at least 6 months or a year, but as I get better at the bass, and I started, you know, thank you for like having me pick up my electric guitar and play lead again, you know, because I hadn't done that in over 2 years, and that's going great. But you know, as I get proficient as a musician, I think God, I think I'm noticing a generalized overall confidence that I'm feeling, you know, when I'm interacting with others, when I'm walking through town, just like, and so I appreciate that, you know, so I get it. So like, you know, if I want to feel confident, you know, I need to be proficient at delivering this message, at talking with people, that understanding this kind of negotiation, which is like, it's a learning curve for me. I haven't done it before, really, especially with a film. So yeah, got to do that. Great confidence. All right. Okay. Number 7 is, okay, this is kind of like a business thing. Like basically I'm offering anyone who, you know, like, and God, so help me, you know, like, I mean, like part of me, you know, actually wants this process to last, you know, months. So I get a lot of experience in it rather than just being really lucky. You know, I ask one person, I say yes, whatever. I mean, that'd be great. But part of me really wants to do this learning. So like for the audience's sake, audience, what I'm doing is like, and you know, if you know someone, and this applies to you, you know, contact me, find me on the internet, go to causalconsciousness.com. There's an email there. You can send me a message if you want. But basically, I plan personally to make about at least 1.5 million on the project. That's based on, I believe, it doing at least as well as An Inconvenient Truth, which is like telling people something similarly not, you know, so easy for people to hear, but very important to hear. But anyway, they you know, they did $50 million at the box office, in addition to, you know, book sales and stuff. So I'm thinking like if we do even half that that amount, the investor will make, let's say they invest 5 million in the film, they'll get back their return and maybe make another 10. So, you know, it's like tripling, doubling their investment. And well, no, you could triple the investment also, I think, even more. So yeah, so like basically, you know, I've determined that I'm not going to work with someone who's not prepared to pay me at least 1.5 million based on their, you know, earning, let's say, 2 million, 10 million from their investment in 5 million. You know, so like 3 times the amount. So yeah, so this would be, so again, for the benefit of the audience, I would offer whoever would basically facilitate this meeting between the person who ultimately finances. The film is made, it makes the money. I earn my portion of the proceeds, and from that, I would be willing to give that person who set up the meeting $300,000, which I think is fair. It's like, the formal finder's fee is about 10%, so this is double that because I think it's it's worth that. So God, so let's see. So all right, that's I will. I mean, then this is part. I have to integrate that into the call script. Just like actually, that's a good point. I'm glad you got me to think about that, guys. So like that should probably be one of the first things I say. Whoever I'm talking with, like if you can get this meeting set up, you can earn $300,000 just for that simple act. All right, so now, all right, number 8. And this one's a bit of a delicate one, and I'm not sure yeah, I think I will go with it. Number 8, I'd much prefer that the producer financer is Hispanic and or Black. Now, the reason I put this in is because there is a bias, a prejudice against Hispanic and Black people, in terms of doing great things like this. I'm Hispanic, and am I talking to you, God? All right, God, because like, I don't know, sometimes God listens. So like the reason I put this in, and of course, this one makes it surreal, but there was a show many years ago called Miss the Weakest Link, where it was a contest, one of these Jeopardy type things that are asked questions, and, they get the right answer, they stay, or no, the audience votes people off, regardless of what the right answers are actually. And that's like, so they did a survey, and there were 2 groups that were voted, as God, I guess I'm talking to the audience. There were 2 groups that were voted off the show in numbers that weren't justified by their answers. They were giving good answers, yet they were like, and so like the 2 groups were the elderly and Hispanics. So that's why, so like, I think there's a misconception about the intelligence of Hispanics. I think we're very wise people in a lot of ways. So, and Black people too. I mean, like, what Black people as a people endured through slavery, segregation, all, I mean, like, I stand in amazement at that. I mean, like, I have a deep respect for Black people because of their experience and their ability to move through it and thrive. And I mean, like, Obama, I mean, we're doing really well with that. Or we've got to do better, of course. But so anyway, so like, yeah, I would like it to be that again, because like I mean, I'm Jewish. I mean, we've done a lot of, we Jews, my God, we've done a lot of good stuff, but it'd be nice to like, celebrate a Hispanic or a Black person for something really good. So I think that's good. All right. And so God, so, and that's, so like I'm not sure I'm gonna, yeah, maybe I should, because I'm Hispanic, maybe some of the people that the first people that I approach, I mean, I've already started approaching people, but when I start making the calls, should be Hispanic, because I'm Hispanic, I guess. I'm 3/4 Hispanic, whatever. All right. Ideally, or number 9, ideally the producer should be someone who's more concerned with helping the world than with receiving acclaim or earning substantial profits from the film. God, this is important. I mean, like, again, this relates to my understanding that whoever finances, produces, bankrolls this film is being done a great favor. I'm doing them a huge favor, because basically I'm making them, world famous. They will go down in history books and science books and popular history books as the person who bankrolled, the second. And I'm glad, God, you're finally getting to me to get this right. You introducing yourself to the world is the first, the greatest revolution in our thinking. I think the second one is this, that which relates to you also. It's not that you exist, it's that you're all that exists, and that your will is the only will, and our will is your will. So yes, so definitely I gotta all right, so all right, but I lost my thought. So yeah, so I want to have the person, again, it shouldn't be someone who's, oh yeah, I want to become world famous, I want to make a lot of money on this film. I mean, that I would take that, because like the good that's being done would justify that concession, but I would much rather work with someone who has devoted their entire life, let's say, to helping create a better world, and just happens to be like a hectomillionaire. For again, God, for the audience, a hectomillionaire people is like people who are worth over $100 million. Okay, and it's and the reason, God, like as you know, that I want to start out with this group of people is because they would be much more willing to take this. I mean, like in my eyes, it's a sure thing. I mean, like it's done right, and like at the very worst, it would break even. I can't see it, losing money. But yeah, somebody who's worth $2, $3, $1 billion, whatever, they're not going to care if the film goes over budget by $1 million or $2 million. Because sometimes, I'm not a filmmaker, but I hear sometimes that happens. So, but the other thing is like, no, the more important thing is, God, that I really want the person who finances this film to earn that acclaim, to be the person, because I want to kind of promote this this rewarding of good people for doing good things. All right, so all right, but that's a pretty standard, clear kind of a thing that I'm not sure I need. I mean, like it's good we go through it. I'm glad you gave me the thought, but that's a simple one. So yes, I will look for people. I will start looking for people who have a proven track record of doing good, trying to do good for the world. Okay, number 10. Don't feel that that the film won't happen. All right, God. Now the reason I put that in is because a lot of times for decades, 3-4 decades, you've had me do things, and you've had me think, oh yeah, people will get this. Oh yeah, this will happen. Climate rescue capitalism, profit donation capitalism, happiness, sell agriculture for a pandemic-free future. There are a lot of projects, gender balanced representation. There are a lot of projects that I've pushed, in the past, over the last several decades. And I'm not saying that I didn't achieve some success with the happiness movement. I just happened to be, I think it was a coincidence that I came into that movement, at the time when it was growing, and, like it was the time of the positive psychology movement. So like that succeeded, not to them, but again, even that didn't succeed nearly to my, if I would have succeeded without God, they'd be teaching happiness in schools, happiness and virtue. So my point, God, is like, after these decades of failure, of you kind of like leading me to do things and just like not having them happen, thank you, God. I mean, I don't understand why you do that, but I would appreciate it. I would it would be very kind of you to have this, to have me feel, that it's going to happen. And, I actually, I got to thank you. I got to thank you. It's not, I'm not, this is not, because I do feel, I feel very strongly that this film is going to happen. And, as whether it takes a year or 2 or 3, I'm going to work on this until it happens, because like, again, to me, it's such a strong idea. And God, thank you for having the idea be not time limited. In other words, this isn't an idea that, oh yeah, now is the right time, but 2-3 years from now won't be. I think there's, 2 years, 3 years from now will be either as good a time for this film or better. I think that's the kind of world we're moving into. So anyway, guys, thank you for that. So yes, I've got confidence that the film's going to happen. All right, review and add to this list every weekday. God, all right, I need your help with this. So like, again, like, and this is so great that we're doing this. So I'm fine. I'm doing it with my therapist once a week. I'm, enlisted her help with that. But this is good. Our talking about this every day. So yes, I mean, like there have been times when I've, when you have made me, say, oh, I'm going to do something every day. And, then after a while, it just doesn't get done. So, but no, this, God, I need your help to, and I thank you. It's going well so far. So like, for example, later today, I want to head out and begin work on the call scripts and again, work on it Monday through Friday. This Friday, God, you didn't have me, do this because I had a lot, I had a lot to do. I had to prepare for the Sabbath, and there was just a lot going on this Friday. But I did, work on it Monday through Thursday, and God, relative to this, I need your help in this because, like, I developed this habit many years ago of like doing my writing in coffee shops and food courts, out among people. I guess the theory is that it's more enjoyable, and like if I'm among people, I'm getting this kind of like collective zeitgeist influence that unconsciously or whatever is hopefully helping my writing. Sometimes I think it might be hurting it, but who knows? But no. Relative to that guy, like sometimes, like I think on Friday, I could easily have taken 15, 20 minutes to do the notes then, but I guess too much was going on. I don't know. But anyway, what I want to ask you with regard to this, God, is like, if for whatever reason, maybe it's raining, it's really raining out, and you don't want me going to, to the Westchester, the gallery or someplace, that you have me work on the script here. Because again, I for whatever reason, I mean, some kind of writing, when I write for Facebook or for some, and I actually haven't been writing that much recently, but you have me write some stuff here, but very little. But yes. So again, if I can't do the writing, in town, then I really would appreciate it if you would have me do it here. All right. So start work on the call scripts. All right, that we already went through that. We've got about 5.5 minutes, which I think things are going well. Number 13, don't think about next steps until you're acing the pitch. Yes. So yes, there's a lot to think about in terms of like how to approach people, who to approach, when to approach them, and yes, that's got to be thought of, and I understand, but I don't want to clutter my mind with too many kinds of considerations at the same time. So like, I want you to help me take this step by step. The call script is what needs to be done now, and whether it takes a week or two, or I don't know how long you have me work on it, but let me work on that and acing it. Then, it's not just like, it's like first, creating the call script, then practicing it, and then probably amending it, from the practice, because I find, it can be improved in various ways, and then delivering it. So like once, and then my therapist, thanks, like she will help me determine when it's right. I mean, cause like we've done a few practice, communications, and so we'll do that. So I'm very, very grateful for that, God, that you have me just like focused on what needs to be done at the time. And yeah, what needs to be done later will be done later. Okay. Number 14, talk to prospects from the perspective of their needs. All right, God, this is another great idea you gave me. And of course, you planted the seeds for this many years ago when you had me read these sales books by top salespeople, and how to like sell, because some people are amazing. And one of the things they said is like, hey, talk to whoever your prospect from their perspective. You want to try to, for example, like talk about the $300,000 commission, finder's fee. Talk about their role in the project, that what they would get from it, because I mean it stands to reason. We're, self-interest is a powerful motivator. If you ask somebody to do a favor, they may do it, but if you ask someone to do something that is going to be a huge favor for them, more likely they'll they'll get involved. All right, so that's a good one. I appreciate that. All right, number 15, talk to God about the items on this list. Hey, is that what we're not doing? So thank you for this. All right, nothing. All right, so this is good. And I should talk to the audience about this. Audience, I appreciate your your audience, I guess. All right, as I talk to God. But again, I really, I have thought actually of separating the time, because like, when, let's say you're in a conversation with three people, and two people are talking all the time, not allowing the third person in. That's just like impolite. That's rude. So sometimes I think that it's rude to just talk with you, throughout these sessions without including talking to the audience. And so I think, God, you had me have the thought that what I should do is divide the time. And then ideally, I think I should talk to you 1/3 of the time. Well, no, 1/2 of the time, because I was thinking if I was going to talk to myself, it'd be 1/3, I guess. But 1/2 of the time, talk to the audience the other half of the time. I guess I'm gonna have to. That seems a bit complicated, but I will think about it, and you will have me decide as you have me decide when you do. Okay. Number 16, and I've got up to number 25. I won't. I doubt. No, I've got a minute and a half left, but then I will. Yeah, I'm not going to add to the 25. Right after this is going to be like the call script that I work on. All right. All right. Number 16. Better identify what I'm afraid of or I'm trying to avoid. I'm going to like reserve that one for tomorrow, or I may do another episode today. I don't feel like I thought I might do 2 right now, but I really want to get some stuff done. I want to get some laundry done, go into town. So get a few things. So anyway, all right. So God, appreciate this. Everyone, thanks for watching. Catch this every Monday through Friday on White Plains Community Media channel 76 if you get Optimum, 45 if you get Verizon, and I upload the episodes to Facebook and YouTube. So it's a nice day, well, actually, I mean, it's funny because you're listening to this, you're watching this the day after I'm saying it, so I'm not sure all that's relevant. So with 21 seconds left, well, I still hope you're having a good day, a good tomorrow, a good Tuesday. Hope I have a good Tuesday. So, all right, God, I appreciate this went well. I'm like, this, and this is great. All right, I'm out of time. Thanks for watching. God willing, see you.